I want to tell you about a patient. I'll call her Dorothy. 76 years old, retired nurse, worked 30 years at a hospital in Philadelphia, spent her career keeping other people alive. Dorothy lived alone, proud of it. Her daughter offered to move her in twice, and twice Dorothy said no. She walked every morning. She cooked her own meals. She drove herself to church on Sundays. In every measurable way, Dorothy was an independent, healthy, 76-year-old woman. One Tuesday morning, Dorothy was carrying a cup of coffee from the counter to the table. She turned. Her foot caught. She reached for the counter. Her hand didn't get there in time. Hip fracture. Surgery that afternoon. 3 months of rehabilitation. And then the call I hear too often. Her daughter told me, "She's not the same, Dr. Carter. She's afraid to walk. She's afraid to be alone. She doesn't trust her own legs anymore." Dorothy didn't have diabetes. She didn't have Parkinson's. She didn't have a neurological disease. She had something far more common and far more preventable. She had quietly lost her muscle strength, her balance, and her reflexes over 8 years of retirement. And nobody noticed because she could still walk. Walking was enough, everyone assumed. It wasn't. My name is Dr. Ethan Carter. I've been a general surgeon for 20 years, and I've operated on more broken hips than I can count. Every single one of those patients has something in common. Not a disease, a gap. The gap between what their body needed to stay safe and what anyone told them to do about it. Every year, approximately 36 million Americans over 65 fall. Falls are the #1 cause of injury, hospitalization, and injury death in that age group. Hip fractures carry a mortality rate of up to 30% within 1 year. Not from the fracture, from the complications, from the loss of mobility, from the spiral that begins the moment an older person hits the ground. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. A Cochrane review, the gold standard of medical evidence, confirmed with high certainty that exercise programs reduce both the rate of falls and the number of people who fall. The evidence is as strong as it gets in medicine. And yet, your doctor prescribes pills for your cholesterol, pills for your blood pressure, pills for your blood sugar. When was the last time your doctor prescribed an exercise? Not recommended, not suggested, prescribed, with the same specificity they use for medication? That is what I'm doing today. 5 exercises, evidence-based. Each one targets a specific system your body needs to keep you on your feet. You can do all 5 at home with no equipment in 10 minutes. And the science behind them is more solid than you might believe. We'll come back to Dorothy, because how her story ends is the whole reason I'm making this video. Exercise 1, and I'm starting with this one because it is both the simplest and the most revealing. Standing on one leg. I know, it sounds too basic to matter, but let me explain what is actually happening when you stand on one leg, because it is far more complex than it appears. Every single step you take when you walk is, mechanically, a controlled fall onto one leg. Your right foot lifts off the ground. For about half a second, your entire body weight is balanced on your left leg. Your left ankle, your left knee, your left hip, and your core are all firing simultaneously to keep you upright. Then you swing through and do it on the other side. Walking is not 2 legs working together. It is 1 leg at a time, hundreds of times, every time you cross a room. When the muscles and reflexes that support single leg balance weaken, your body compensates. Your steps get shorter. Your feet stay wider apart. You start shuffling instead of striding. You stop turning your head when you walk because even that small shift in weight feels unstable. And eventually, one day, you turn in the kitchen with a cup of coffee and your system cannot keep up. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine in 2022 followed over 1,700 adults aged 51 to 75. Those who could not hold a single leg stance for 10 seconds had nearly double the risk of death from any cause within the following decade. Not because standing on one leg prevents disease, because it reveals how much your overall physical capacity has declined. I asked Dorothy to stand on one leg during her assessment. She managed 4 seconds. 4. She walked every day. She considered herself healthy. But her balance system was critically compromised, and nobody had tested it because nobody thought to ask. Here's how you do it. Stand next to your kitchen counter. Place one hand lightly on the surface, not gripping, just touching, for safety. Now lift 1 foot off the ground, just 2 or 3 inches. Hold it there. Count. 10 seconds is the goal. Then switch. 3 times on each side. When 10 seconds feels easy, take your hand off the counter. When that feels easy, close your eyes. Closing your eyes removes your visual system from the equation and forces your inner ear and the sensors in your feet to do all the work. That is where the real training happens. This exercise activates 3 systems simultaneously. Your vestibular system in the inner ear, your visual system, and proprioception, the sensors in your joints and the soles of your feet that tell your brain where your body is in space. When you practice this daily, you are recalibrating the entire network that keeps you upright. Exercise 2. This one is about power. Specifically, the power that pushes you forward with every step and catches you when you stumble. Heel raises, or calf raises, same thing. Your calf muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus, are the engine of your stride. Every time you take a step, your calf pushes off the ground and propels you forward. That is called push-off power. Without it, your steps become short, flat, and heavy. Your feet start dragging on the carpet. You catch the edge of a rug. You clip the lip of a doorway. But there is something even more important. When you lose your balance forward, your calf muscles are the first line of defense. They contract instantly to pull your body back over your feet before you fall. This is called the ankle strategy. It is your body's fastest balance correction mechanism. Faster than reaching for a handrail, faster than taking a recovery step, and it depends entirely on calf strength. After age 60, calf muscle strength declines faster than almost any other muscle group in the body. And because we don't notice it in daily life until something goes wrong, it deteriorates unchecked for years. I asked Dorothy to rise up on her toes. She managed about 1 centimeter. Her calves had atrophied to the point where push-off was almost non-existent. That is why she shuffled. That is why her foot caught on the floor when she turned. The engine was running on empty. Here is how you do it. Stand behind a sturdy chair, both hands resting lightly on the back. Rise up on your toes as high as you comfortably can. Hold for 2 seconds at the top. Lower slowly. Do not drop down. The slow lowering is where the strengthening happens. 15 repetitions. Rest 30 seconds. 15 more. When this becomes easy, try one leg at a time. That doubles the load on each calf and accelerates the adaptation. Do this every single day. Your calves respond quickly to training, even in your 70s and 80s. The change can be measurable within 3 to 4 weeks. Exercise 3, and this is the one that most people have never thought about, because it targets a direction we almost never train. Sideways. Think about your daily life. You walk forward, you walk backward occasionally. But how often do you move sideways? Almost never. And yet, research on fall mechanics in older adults consistently shows that lateral instability, losing your balance to the side, is one of the strongest predictors of falls. Stronger than forward instability, stronger than tripping. Why? Because when you lose balance sideways, you have very few recovery options. Forward, you can take a step. Backward, you can grab something. Sideways, your body needs a specific muscle to catch you, the gluteus medius. It lives in the side of your hip. It stabilizes your pelvis every time you shift your weight. And after age 60, in people who primarily walk in straight lines and sit in chairs, this muscle wastes away quietly because nothing in daily life asks it to work. When Dorothy turned in her kitchen, she shifted her weight to the left. Her left gluteus medius was too weak to stabilize her pelvis. Her center of gravity passed the point of no return. 4 seconds later, she was on the floor. Here is how you train it. Stand in your kitchen or hallway with a counter or wall within arm's reach. Step sideways to the right, 5 steps. Then 5 steps back to the left. Keep your body upright. Do not lean. Let your hip muscles do the work. 3 rounds each direction. When this feels comfortable, make it harder. Cross your left foot behind your right as you move right, then uncross. This is called a grapevine step, and it forces your brain to coordinate sideways movement with cross-body coordination. It is more challenging than it sounds. And that challenge is exactly what builds the neural pathways that protect you. The World Health Organization recommends at least 3 days per week of balance exercise for older adults, specifically including multi-directional challenge. Lateral stepping is the most direct way to address the direction most people never train, and the direction most falls actually happen. Exercise 4. Pay close attention, because this is not just an exercise. This is the single most important functional test for independent living. Can you stand up from a chair without using your hands? That question determines more about your future than almost any blood test in existence. Because standing up from a chair is the gateway movement for everything. Getting off the toilet, getting out of a car, getting out of bed, getting up from the floor after a fall. If you cannot generate enough force through your legs to lift your own body weight without arm assistance, your independence has a timeline. And that timeline is shorter than most people think. The CDC's STEADY program uses the 30-second chair stand test as one of its core screening tools for fall risk. Research shows that the inability to complete 5 full sit-to-stands in 15 seconds is strongly associated with elevated fall risk, future hospitalization, and functional decline. This exercise trains your quadriceps, your glutes, and your core simultaneously. The 3 muscle groups that collectively determine whether your lower body can support you in the moments that matter most. Dorothy needed both hands pushing down on the armrests and had to rock forward aggressively to get out of her chair. Her leg muscles could not lift her body weight. and if she had fallen to the floor, she would not have gotten up without help. That dependency is the beginning of the end of living alone. Here is how to do it. Sturdy chair, no wheels. Sit on the front half. Feet flat, shoulder width apart. Cross arms over your chest. Stand up using only your legs, slowly. Then sit back down slowly. Count to 3 on the way down. That slow descent is where the real strengthening occurs. Your muscles work harder on the way down than on the way up. If you cannot do this without hands right now, perfectly fine. Start with hands on your thighs, giving a light push. Over days and weeks, reduce that push. Less hand, more leg. The progression is the point, not the starting position. 5 to 10 repetitions, 2 sets, every day. Within 4 to 6 weeks, most people see measurable improvement. And the day you stand up from a chair without thinking about it, without reaching for the armrest, you have given yourself back something no medication can provide. Exercise 5, the most challenging on the list. And that is exactly why it is the most effective. Tandem walking, heel to toe, like walking on a tightrope. You place the heel of one foot directly in front of the toes of the other, then step. Heel in front of toes, step. Heel in front of toes. It sounds almost childishly simple. Try it. You will feel every stabilizer muscle in your body light up. This exercise forces your brain to coordinate 5 systems at once. Your visual system tracking the line ahead. Your vestibular system maintaining spatial orientation. The proprioceptors in your ankles detecting micro shifts in pressure. Your core making continuous adjustments to keep your center of gravity over a very narrow base. And your working memory holding the pattern. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. It is a full brain, full body integration exercise disguised as a walk down your hallway. The CDC includes the tandem walk in the STEADY toolkit as one of the most accurate clinical screens for fall risk. And the research is clear. Programs that include moderate to high balance challenge produce the greatest reductions in falls. Not easy exercises, difficult ones. Your balance improves only when it is challenged beyond what it can currently handle. Just like a muscle only grows when pushed beyond its current capacity. Dorothy could manage 3 tandem steps before losing her balance. 3. Here is how you start. Stand in a hallway. Place one hand near the wall, not on it, near it, ready to touch if needed. Place the heel of your right foot directly in front of the toes of your left foot. Step forward. Left heel directly in front of right toes. 10 steps. Turn around carefully. 10 steps back. 3 rounds. Look straight ahead, not at your feet. When this feels manageable, add a dual task. Hold a cup of water, or count backward from 100 by sevenths. Adding a cognitive challenge while balancing trains your brain to maintain stability even when distracted, which is exactly what happens in real life. You are carrying groceries. You are talking to someone. Falls happen when the brain is busy. Dual task training prepares you for that reality. After 6 weeks of daily practice, Dorothy walked 10 tandem steps without touching the wall, from 3 to 10 at 76. Her brain and her body adapted, not because of a pill, because someone finally gave them a reason to. Before I bring Dorothy's story to its conclusion, I need to address the question you might be asking. If these exercises are so effective, why doesn't my doctor prescribe them? It is not because your doctor doesn't know. it is because the system doesn't support it. A standard appointment lasts 15 minutes. In those 15 minutes, your doctor reviews your labs, adjusts your medications, addresses your chief complaint, updates your chart, and tries to make eye contact at least once. Ordering a blood pressure pill takes 30 seconds. Teaching 5 exercises, demonstrating them, ensuring proper form, answering questions, that takes 30 minutes that do not exist. There is no billing code for prescribed single-leg stance for fall prevention. No pharmaceutical company funds research into heel raises. No sales representative walks into a doctor's office with free samples of lateral stepping. The system is designed to dispense medications, not movements. The Cochrane collaboration confirmed that exercise programs reduce falls by 23 to 28%. High certainty evidence. Many medications prescribed daily have weaker evidence than that. But those medications have a code, a copay, and a refill reminder. Exercise has none of those things. So it falls into the gap between what works and what gets prescribed. I am not blaming your doctor. I am blaming a system that evaluates health with blood work and scans, but never once asks, "Can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds?" That single question might tell us more about your next 5 years than your cholesterol number. Let me come back to Dorothy. After her hip surgery and the difficult months that followed, her daughter found a physical therapist who specialized in geriatric fall prevention. They started with these 5 exercises, modified at first, gentler, slower, but every day, 10 minutes, no exceptions. 3 months later, Dorothy could stand on one leg for 18 seconds, up from 4. She could rise up on her toes fully, with control. She could step sideways without wobbling. She stood up from her kitchen chair with her arms crossed and a look on her face that told me everything I needed to know. She called me and said, "Dr. Carter, I told my daughter I don't need her to move in. I just need my 10 minutes. Here is your prescription. Write it down. Take a picture of this screen. Put it on your refrigerator. Single leg stance. 30 seconds each side, 3 times. 3 minutes. Heel raises. 15 repetitions, 2 sets. 2 minutes. Lateral steps. 5 steps each direction, 3 rounds. 2 minutes. Sit to stand. 10 repetitions, 2 sets. 2 minutes. Tandem walking. 10 steps, 3 rounds, 1 minute. Total, 10 minutes. No gym, no equipment. 1 chair and 1 wall. That is all you need. Nobody falls because they are missing a medication. People fall because they are missing strength, missing balance, missing the reflexes that keep them upright, and missing someone who told them that 10 minutes a day could change everything. Here is what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, right now. Stand next to your kitchen counter. Lift 1 foot off the ground. Count. If you cannot hold 10 seconds, that is your signal. Not a signal to be afraid, a signal to begin. Share this video with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a friend who says they are fine because they walk every day. Walking is good. Walking is not enough. These 5 exercises are what stands between a person and a fall, between independence and dependence, between a life lived on your own terms and a life lived waiting for help. Your legs have carried you your entire life. They have walked you through decades of work, of raising children, of building a life. They have asked you for almost nothing in return. 10 minutes a day, That is all they are asking for now. Everything I've shared today is general health information based on published research and my clinical experience. Your situation is unique. Before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have existing health conditions, please consult your physician or a qualified physical therapist. They can ensure these exercises are safe and appropriate for you. That conversation is always worth having. I'm Dr. Ethan Carter. Stay strong, stay steady, and never let anyone tell you it's too late to start.